Hey folks, SoloGamer here, and today I want to talk about heroclix. That's right, heroclix. Where do I begin? There are a lot of people who say, well, heroclix isn't a board game, so why you even play it? Okay, well let me start from the beginning. I love superheroes. If you see my thing on Marvel Legendary, you know I love superheroes. I always have. When I was a kid, I read comics big time. I don't read the comics now because the comics now kind of suck. They kind of really put these heroes and crap down the crapper. But anyways, I digress. I love superheroes. I love the movies they're coming out with now. The whole Avengers, Marvel thing. It's all great. And before I found Marvel Legendary, I was always wanting to play some kind of superhero game and stuff like that. And then heroclix came along. Or I found heroclix. Let me put it like that. Heroclix had been out for a while. And I discovered it. And so I spent a lot of money building up my heroclix collection. And as you can see, you know, heroclix figures, they come in different sizes. There's Galactus, he's pretty big. Dormammu, he's not as big, but he's pretty cool. Onslaught. And then, you know, here's your regular size figures, and they all come in cool little shapes and sizes and stuff like that. Now, I'm just happy, in a way, to have bought all my figures. And I'll show you my collection in a second. Just for the art alone. I mean, these things are just cool to have around. I mean, they're pretty cool. I really like them. It's an added bonus that you really get to play with them. Now, heroclix is played between two people or, you know, more. One team puts the heroes on one side of the map. The other team puts the heroes on the other side of the map. And it's kind of like a chess. They go against each other. And the team who has the heroes left standing wins. I don't get to play. And there's a big following for it to play competitively. I mean, heroclix is really, really big. And, you know, there's tournaments all over the country. Comic book stores. I mean, it's a really big deal. They have really big tournaments. People win prizes, even design some of these things. So heroclix is really big. Unfortunately, I don't ever really get to play competitively. I don't do it for a couple reasons. One, I just don't have time or inclination really to go to a comic book store and play competitively. I can't do it. I just can't. Two, it's very expensive. Heroclix figures are expensive. You want to try to get all these crazy ones. You know, when you buy a set of heroclix figures, you never know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get 3 of the same figures or 2 different ones or what. It's like winning the lotto. Sometimes you get a cool rare figure. And the only way to really ensure you get the figures you want is you have to buy these big cases, and they cost a lot of money. But there's another reason why I don't play competitively. Is because it just doesn't feel that when you put your heroes here and another guy puts his heroes there and you just move around the board trying to beat each other with superpowers, it just doesn't feel like, I don't know, it's, yeah, you're using superheroes and you get to use the powers they come with, but it just doesn't feel like superhero to me. I mean, it just doesn't. It just feels like chess, but you're playing with superheroes, but I don't know, it's just missing something. I don't never read a comic book really where you picked, you know, characters from DC and Marvel, put them on one side, and, you know, the same on the other side, and they went. It just, I don't know, it's just missing something. And then you can't play heroclix solo. You really can't. You can't play it like that because you're going to be rooting for one side, and you're always going to know what one side's going to do. Well, if I move him here, but then I know this guy's going to move here and stuff like that. It's nowhere. It's not fun. You can't play heroclix solo like that. It's just not fun. It's no matter how hard you try, it's just not fun. I mean, you can do it to like practice and learn moves and stuff, but to play like you would a game to have fun, it's just not. So I'm in a dilemma. I was in a dilemma for a while. I spent all these money on these heroclix figures. Didn't play competitively because I wasn't able to really, and because it just doesn't feel the same. Can't play solo because it just doesn't work. So I spent all these monies on these figures, and I'm like, what do I do? But then I thought of something. What if you played scenarios? What if I took some of the most iconic memories of Marvel Universe comic books and played a scenario to where I try to do that? Like, let's say, for instance, the Infinity Gauntlet. You know, I had all the Infinity Gauntlet issues, from the Infinity Gauntlet, the Infinity War, the Infinity Crusade, back in the early 90s when they came out. It was one of my most favorite miniseries, limited series, whatever you want to call it. I loved it, and it was some of the best stuff at the time, and it still to this day is really good. And hell, that's what the Avengers movies is building up for, really. And so I thought, well, I got a Thanos figure, I got a Terra X figure, his girl they had in there. What if I had all the heroes that went against Thanos when he had the gauntlet and tried to beat him like they did in the comic book? I modified some of the heroclix rules a little bit. Well, that would work. That would be fun. Then I started thinking, well, wait a minute. There's certainly plenty of other scenarios. Like, what about the Masters of Evil? What about the time they took over the Avengers Mansion? Or what about Maximum Carnage? What if you expanded on that? Or World War Hulk? Or what if you expanded on that? And you made them have to have objectives. And they had not only just, you just didn't fight each other. You had to go rescue another hero. Like in the Masters of Evil, they took the Black Knight and Captain America hostage, and the Avengers, you know, in the Avengers Mansion, they infiltrated the Avengers Mansion, took those guys hostage, and so the Avengers had to regroup and go in there and save the day. Or Maximum Carnage. You got to defeat Carnage. Well, what about if you played like the Midnight Suns? What if Mephisto was trying to get his hand on the Medallion of Power, and you had the Midnight Suns trying to defend it? So I started thinking, man, I can come up with some scenarios like that, and I can play a lot more balanced, and I can actually have fun, and I'm not rooting for any other side, and I modified the rules a little bit. And I said, you know what, that way I can make use of my heroclix, and that way I could do something with them. So that's what I decided to do. So I come up with several scenarios based off my favorite iconic comic book moments, expanded on them. They're not going to be exactly the same, most of them, but expanded on them. And we're going to play through and see what you think, see if you like it, see if other heroclix fans like it. You know, heroclix is a little bit different than board games, you know. They're not necessarily in the same, I guess you could say, category. Honestly, I would say that. But, you know, if you put scenarios into it, you might can merge it a little bit, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go and show you exactly my heroclix collection, and we'll see why I'm talking about it and why I want to come up with scenarios so I don't have a whole waste of money. Then I'm going to try to explain a little bit how you play heroclix. Now, heroclix is pretty complex. There's a lot of stuff to remember, a lot of powers, but we're going to go over the basics to show you how to play. Okay, so just so you can see, these right here are all my good guys on the top shelf. Those are all my heroclix good guys. It's a lot of them. And here on the middle shelf are all my heroclix bad guys. And they are a lot of money. I mean, they are a lot of money. So you can see why I wouldn't waste them. And there's certain ones I really wanted to have because I really like some of those characters. Some of them are cheap, and I got them just to fill out my collection. But, you know, hey, great. And of course you saw Galacticus and all them. So we're going to go over the map first, and we're going to go explain how the map works. Okay, so there are a lot of different maps in heroclix. A lot. And this is what you play on this map. Okay? And let's go over some of what these areas mean. Alright. There is on each map two purple areas, two areas that are inside these purple lines. And you see these purple lines. This is your starting area. There's going to be one on one side of the map, and there's another on this side of the map, as you can see, for each team. you put your heroes, when you start, you put them inside that starting area. As you can see, you have some yellow here. And what that is called hindering terrain. And what normally happens with that is, like, let's say the Juggernaut here, he walks into there, then he has to stop. He can't move past that. He ends his turn there. But he's hindering, I mean, he's got cover. So he's a little harder to hit, okay? But if he moves one space, he's still stuck in there next turn. And then finally when he moves out, he can move regularly. But that's hindering terrain. It just basically, it slows you. If you can't fly. If you can fly, like Terex here, well then he can fly right on over. It doesn't bother him. But he can use it as cover, and it would help his defense. But he's stuck in there for a little bit. And you see this like brownish square. Well, and that obviously looks like a rock, a boulder. Well, that's impenetrable terrain. He can't move through that. That's a big rock. He can't move through it. Now he can stand right here, and if somebody were over here, no, they couldn't hit him. But like I said, Terex here, he can fly over that kind of stuff. Then you have like blue, which is obviously represents water. Okay? Now, the same thing for the Juggernaut. He's not an aquatic person, so he would go in there. Okay? Now, he wouldn't get any cover because water is not like a tree. It doesn't give you any cover, but his movement is slowed down. But there are some characters, like, say, Subnamer or somebody like that, who can move through water pretty good because they're an aquatic character. And this does not stop line of fire. I mean, if the Juggernaut had a laser gun, he can shoot Terex over that water. You understand? And then we have our little red lines here. And this is elevated. You see how it has a little 1? Well, that's the ground level. 2 is a little higher level. So, if a character can fly, then that presents no problem. If a character like Spider-Man can jump, or like the Hulk can jump, no problem. But if the character is just a regular ground character, then it becomes a little bit of a problem. Okay? He has to find a way to get up there on here, but he couldn't come to this square and get up there. He has to go here, or he has to go here where it has these arrows. And then you also have the whole, I can shoot down on you, but you can't shoot up on me. So that's briefly how the map works. Now we'll get more into it as we play. So for now, let's go over the heroclix figures themselves and some of the power. Okay, we're going to take your typical heroclix figure, and we'll take Captain America here. Okay, and we're going to look at his dial. Now, as you can see, his dial says he's worth 75 points. Okay, this matters for when you build teams. You and your opponent, or if you're going to play a scenario, you agree on how many points of a team you're going to have. So, like if you were playing somebody and y'all say, well, let's build us a team of 300 points. Then he's 75 points of that 300. And you cannot go over 300. You can be under, but you can't go over. So, you would build up your characters like he's 75, he's 200. So, if we were to play Marvel here in Captain America, that's 275 points. Then if we could find another figure that was worth 25 or less, we could use him. If not, then we're stuck at that. This is what set he belongs to. This is an Avengers set. And he's number 3 of that set. Of course, there's his name and stuff like that. Let's look on the dial here. You see a foot, a fist, and a shield. Well, the foot is obviously movement. But if you look at Captain America's foot, he has wings on it. I mean, Genesis Vale's foot, he has wings on it. Captain America does not have wings on it. That means that Captain America is a runner on the ground. Genesis Vale with the wings means he can fly. They both have the same fist. Okay? And that's their attack. Okay? And then we have defense, the shield, and that's what obviously means defense. So, and we'll go over what these numbers inside there mean when we start to play. But for now, let's just take Captain America. As you can see, his shield is a green 17. So he has a special power, and you would look on his character card. And each one of these comes with a character card. It tells you what powers they're going to have. Like take Captain America. We'll go, here's my little book. Okay. Shield, save, energy shield, and deflection. So he has that power and a defense of 17. Okay. So that's just to go over that. His attack, he has a power and he has attack of 11. And basically, like let's say Marvel was going to attack Captain America. Marvel has an attack of 11. Captain America has a defense of 17. So Marvel would roll 2 dice and he would get a 9. So 11 plus 9 is 20. He got higher than 17 on the defense here. So he hits Captain America. Okay, speaking of hit, this little star here, the number next to it, that 3, is how much damage you do when you hit somebody. Okay, and there's always maybe a special power with that. And then there's you see that up above that, you see this number 6 and 2 lightning bolts. Okay, that means he can throw his shield or whatever 6 spaces. So if Captain Marvel was 4 spaces away, he could throw and try to hit him. Whereas the Juggernaut, you see, he has 0 on his by his lightning bolt. That means he can't throw jack unless he can pick something up and throw it. He can't shoot no lasers or nothing like that. The only way he's going to attack is he has to get up on somebody like that. And then the lightning bolts show how many targets he can target. So Captain America, we're standing here, he could target both Juggernaut and Captain Marvel and throw his shield at both of them. Okay? Whereas the Juggernaut, he can't do it, but let's say Captain Marvel, he also has 2, so he can target 2 people. But if you had 1 lightning bolt, you can target 1 person. If you had 3, you could target 3 people. Okay? So every character you get comes with a card like these, and they're going to explain their powers and any traits or anything they have or any special abilities. And you notice how on here, on the back of him, he has this little symbol here. That's his team abilities. Some heroes have these on them, team abilities, and that gives them another special ability there. So each thing comes with dice and these little tokens. And when you start to play a game, you can usually have 6 objects. These yellow or light objects, these red or heavy objects. And you put them on the board where you want. And the opponent puts them on the board where they want. And if you have super strength, you can pick an object up and just punch somebody with it, and this causes extra damage. Or you can throw an object and it causes extra damage. Okay, but you can only throw an object so many spaces. Some heroes have special powers where they can put smoke around them to where it's hindering terrain, so they get a bonus on their defense. And some have these special barriers you can put around them to where they would just be blocked from any damage or something like that. And then some have these little special tokens and special powers and stuff like that. Okay? So that's basically how that kind of stuff works. Like he has a rock there, but then he could put a barrier here. Old Captain America couldn't attack him. Okay? So that goes like that. Okay? There's a lot more to it, but that's just the basic gist of what you get and how you play. And as you can see, you're going to see how I play. We're going to start off with the easy one. We're going to start off with the Infinity Gauntlet. And we're going to play just like in the comic book. And we'll go over that, and we'll start that for our first adventure. And you'll get to see, and I'm going to explain some of the powers and stuff as we go. So, we'll see you then. Have fun.